Hey, my Guyanese folks on this app, my fellow Guyanese Caribbean folks on this app, y'all step to the front. Let me issue you guys a little bit of warning here, right? I understand you have some kind of deal with them but I think Chevron. I don't remember who it is. Sorry, I think it's actually Exxon, not Chevron, to help manufacture this relatively new, massive oil fields within your waters. And I say relatively new because it is. They found this approximately 10 years ago, so 2015, right? That's when they found this. Okay. You see what they did in Venezuela, okay? You need to familiarize yourself. Anybody who's familiar with the Guyanese government, you need to download and read Trump's national security strategy that he released end of November to early December last year. You need to be wary. Maybe you need to revisit the deal you have with any U.S. oil company you have. Because what they're doing to Venezuela next door, they could do to you if you displease them. They have the military infrastructure in the region already. So Guyana, you need to be really, really fucking careful. This man doesn't care about innocent civilians. I'm hearing that he unalived more than 100 and counting people in their sleep when he decided to drop boom booms on Caracas. People have nothing to do with it, just sleeping, walking around the city, late night walk, whatever they do. Nothing that they're not responsible, they're not part of it, but they decide to boom boom the city. And you unalive more than 100 innocent Venezuelans. I'm talking to you, Guyana, because you're right next door, but I'm talking to the wider Caribbean too. And Trinidad, you as well, you need to, I don't know how you let yourself be used like that. You and all have oil stores. I think your oil stores are probably a little depleted now, but you need to be very careful. Guyana especially, I'm talking to you specifically, Guyana. You're right next door. There'd be nothing for them to just say, hey, why don't we just take them too? You guys have a massive oil reserves that you come into. When I say massive, this is what I mean. Straight from Google, it makes Guyana the third largest oil reserve holder in South America after Brazil and Venezuela, which they just grabbed. So you need to think about that shit. Just to reiterate, let me show you a graphic from before. Guyana is second from the top in terms of newly discovered resources since 2016. Second from the top. So they're second from the top in the world. And also, Guyana, you have another thing to worry about. Trump said it was about drogas. But then he later said it's about oil, that these companies had controlled the oil companies, and they're now making no pretense about grabbing up the oil in Venezuela. Now, what I'm going to show you next is a reason why Guyana needs to be extra careful with that shit. Okay? As I said before, the deal with Exxon is sketchy, and there's a lot of rumbling within the country to renegotiate the deal with Exxon and some of these other Western oil companies. And you talk about oil, Guyana's oil is light, sweet crude. Much easier to process, cheaper to process, less polluting, a way more better quality oil than Venezuela has. Guyana, you really need to be careful. Watch this. Again, I ask, is the type of oil discovered in Guyana the same as the type of oil in Venezuela? And this is Google. Google came back and said, no, the oil in Guyana is lighter and sweeter, higher quality than much of Venezuela oil, which is often extra heavy crude, making Guyana's discovery more valuable and easier to process. Hello? Y'all see that shit? To read the whole thing, pause to read it. Oh my God. Also, you see, Trump is making he's not pulling any punches with, basically he thinks that the militaristic capitalism that the United States was known for especially the early part of the 20th century, right? The late 19th, early part of 20th century, up to like all throughout World War One, throughout the Korean War, and even after World War Two. The kind of militaristic capitalism, he thinks that the United States has a right to assert their dominance for their interests in the region. And let me say something. Exxon has donated heavily to the Republicans. Hold up. This is from Open Secrets. All federal candidates. Exxon has donated heavily to the Republicans. All federal candidates. 50. This is the House breakdown, right? They're giving that much to the House and Democrats, but they're giving more to the House. And then here's the Senate. All right? It's kind of evenly split. If you go back to pause, look at those numbers, they give more to the Republican candidates than they do the Democrats. And they've donated to more Republican candidates than they have donated to Democrats. Lord knows how much money they're giving to these dark packs, to these dark money packs, dark money organizations. So when I talk about Trump is greenlighting this militaristic kind of capitalism again, all it takes is one of those people who find Guyana is annoying them too much and they call Trump and allege something, because Trump contrived the whole drogas issue in Venezuela. They can allege something and their Trump will just go into Guyana, and it'd be a boon for the oil companies, because this is light sweet crude. This is the kind of stuff that's going on. And what's going on right now, what I talked about earlier, this is light sweet crude. Guyana should be swimming in money. But the deals they made, because, again, they're taking advantage of the people down there. And these oil companies are raking in a ton of money, but there's a lot of push right now to revisit that kind of stuff. People who find light sweet crude oil on their property, like the indigenous found, when that movie that came out recently, where they were murdering the indigenous for the oil and stuff. Light sweet crude makes people wealthy relatively quickly, but Guyana is still pretty impoverished because they're not getting what they should be getting. As I said, the deals with Exxon are sketchy. And if Guyana gets wise and starts to push back and decide that, no, we're breaking this is not right, they can simply make a call to Daddy Trump. And Trump, since he has, as I said, he has the military infrastructure set up down there already. It's a threat. Man, I don't want to see this, but I'm sorry. I have to speak out against it. I have to speak out and warn folks about it. So any of you who are Guyanese, you're watching this, maybe send them my video and check my facts out. This is screenshots from Google. Nothing from my AI or nothing. This is from Google that everybody has. This is Open Secrets. Go look for yourself. Damn. Guyana, beware.